Well, it's a wonderful day to be in the Philippines. I've got my friend Mike here from That Philippine Life, who's swung by to see the house and what's going on here.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. Wow.
This really is one of my favorite vloggers, the one that I watch consistently.
Well, thank you very much.
You know, honestly, because he's got a house which he did the same thing that I've done here at the beach. He's built onto it, he's remodeled, he's added to it, but he's got himself locked into a little bit lower rent, like I have here. And so it's interesting.
A little bit higher than you, though, my friend.
Well, you know.
You did great.
Yeah, but you're on the water.
Yeah,
so.
I am. I'm on the beach. Yeah, this has been incredibly eye-opening, and this is exactly like I'm inspired, okay? I'm very, very inspired by Daryl here because this is exactly what I would do if I had the opportunity as well. Like, this is a fantastic deal, and what you've done, you have to have vision, and it's great to meet somebody else who has that kind of vision that I feel like I have as well.
Which is one of the reasons I was excited to meet you. I'm watching your videos, and you're talking about people making comments about you investing money into a rental. They don't get it. They don't get it. When you get here, you know, something like this would cost me way more than what I pay, and yours would cost you way more than what you pay.
Oh my gosh, way more.
It's a great decision that you made.
Yeah, and you know, I think there's a lot of people also in the West that they're just so used to, maybe they've been watching vlogs for many years, and they're just thinking that everything here is under $200.
And when I watch yours, I was inspired to hear somebody else who had the same
mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people that are watching, you got to keep it with a grain of salt because their impressions may not come from actual reality or from doing it themselves. They're just talking because they watched other vlogs for maybe 10 years. And 10 years ago, yeah, you could get a nice place here for $200 a month. But those days are, you know, really gone. You have to find something that is got the potential and then work on it, or you're going to have to pay big bucks, right? Like nowadays, literally, I just watched one in Iloilo where I was from before, and in Savannah, which is a township just outside of the city, and they are now asking 40,000 pesos for a 2-story split level house. That same house was 20,000 pesos not long ago. Supply and demand, right? The demand is high. A lot of OFWs are making a lot of money, and they're coming back now, or they're sending money home to their families who can then pay for these type of things. And so supply and demand dictates the price, and that's what's happening. So you got to be innovative like you have been here in order to still be able to get here and find something that will fit a budget dollars.
You know, and what I was thinking, I was looking for a place, but I was thinking I was going to be more like up the other side of Baguio, my second home, but I was going to be more up by the Rice Terraces where it's just, I'm totally secluded. This is pretty much secluded. I mean, it's quiet.
I can't believe how quiet it is here. You are in the provinces-ish. You're in a town. But once I sent the drone up, I could see that, yeah, you're full of farms all the way around. But listen. I hear no roosters. I hear no barking dogs. I don't hear anything. And it doesn't matter where I've been in the Philippines. I usually hear that. This is peaceful.
You know, I put the wall around it because I just want that additional privacy.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Plus, aesthetically, it's going to be gorgeous, especially if you put in like plants and different gardens and stuff like that you can do in the future here, all the additions that you're planning to do. This will become an oasis in here, and that's absolutely incredible. And maybe one day, you never know, you can build a pool. If you have your own concrete, like
I told them, the owners, I said, you extend my lease a few years and to a full 5 years, and I said, I'll put in a swimming pool.
Yeah, because you would. Yeah, you could here so cheaply. But you also could buy just one of the inflatable ones if you want, and just blow it up and relax in it.
I think the only thing is there's so many large fruit trees here that they'd constantly be getting stuff in the water, and that's probably kind of a negative. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that.
You really have built a wonderful place here. This bar that we're sitting at here is coming to into fruition. And when I hear the price that he's been paying for this, I'm blown away. I have a bar on the beach, and I spend a lot of money fixing it up constantly.
It's the Beaver.
Yeah, the Canadian Beaver. That's right.
Yeah.
But
tell them where it's at.
This is wonderful. Oh yeah, I'm on the beach in Roxas City. So we're 2.5 minutes from the airport. If you are flying from Manila, you can fly directly into Roxas City, and we're right on the beach. We're in the heart of all the action and everything else. It's a great adventure for me so far. I've learned a lot about being in business in the Philippines because of this. Learned a lot of lessons, which yeah, some people would see as failures, but I don't, because now I know from firsthand what types of things to look out for going forward, because this won't be my last business by any stretch of the imagination. And but we're enjoying it. You know, right now we got a lot of rain this week in Roxas City and crazy winds.
Couple of storms.
Yeah, we're dealing with for the next 5 days. We're so glad to be in Angeles City right now, because we can see on our cameras and our CCTV that it's gross back home right now. The winds are so strong and the rain, overcast, and you know the people that are back at the shop there, they're doing a lot of fixing up of, you know, repairing things constantly because everything's just blowing away. And here we are in this beautiful sunny hot weather where I'm actually sweating. I haven't sweat in a long time. But I got to tell you, so where I am, the evenings can get a little cooler, but they don't get that much cooler. Here, the temperature change is drastic.
Yeah.
Come 6 o'clock, you have really cool evenings here.
Yeah, I mean, I literally, if I fall asleep with the aircon on, I have to get up and turn it off.
Wow.
And that's running at 27.
Wow. Yeah.
Tell people, give everybody your channel, how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, my channel's at That Philippines Life, and I've been here for like 3 years, and so I had a channel with an ex was called That Philippines Life. That was 3 years ago. But then when that relationship ended, I gave the channel off to her, and then she ended up renaming the channel. So I started a new channel, and I took the name back, which was great because then people have that recognition. And a lot of people will say, well, I used to watch his channel, but I don't see it anymore. And that's probably why they're subscribed to the old channel that's no longer named that. So it's been a journey and a half.
To be honest with you, I watch it more now. I mean, literally, I watch this channel almost daily. Almost.
Nice.
And I don't watch anybody really because I don't want to be influenced by a topic or a conversation or any of those kind of things. Everything has to come fresh from my own experiences. And unlike some channels, I don't talk about anything other than just, you know, my own experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know there's some people that I think they just want content for their channel. And so they'll look things up online, see what's trending or whatever, and then just come up with something to talk about.
Which is why I liked your channel.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. For us, we're showing our life, right? Yeah. And the crazy things we decide to do and go explore and that kind of thing. Like, I love how you're doing like a summer place up in Baguio, and then you're doing this. And you're going to be, you know, when you're finished here, you're going to start renovating up there. That's so cool.
When I get done with that, I might do one in Vegan or El Nido or any one of a few places. The thing I'm thinking about is that I just love this place so much. I want to share it, and so many people want to come and visit. So if I do one in El Nido and here and there, then people can go, well, I'll stay here and here and here and here. And they can just go
do a circle.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a great idea. So I love that. I love that. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, just go there and just retire. Well, that's boring. I believe in life, to be truly living, you need to have purpose in life. So it could be a hobby. Like some people just love golf. Okay, you can retire and just golf every day. That, to me, is a purpose. You have a purpose every day. That's great. But to just lay there and say you're just going to lay at a beach every day of your life and you're going to live a long life, you're not. You're not going to live a long life. You have to have a purpose. You have to give your body and your mind something to do every day and a reason to continue to live. So I love how you're doing this. This is exactly what people need.
Yeah, well, one thing that I admire about your channel is you're always doing something. I mean, you were at Baguio. I saw a place down on the coast where I want to go. And I mean, I didn't know it was there, and I'm going to go there because I saw it on your channel.
Like San Fernando, you mean? Or?
No, they have this little, it's like a little Italian, it's got these little canals that you were in.
Oh, yes, La Casa de Filipinas de Acuzar.
Yeah.
And most people had never seen it. Meanwhile, it is one of the most unique things in this entire country. And when I saw it for the first time, you know, I'd seen it, pictures. It was actually on my to-go list, but every day I would look and I don't see other vloggers covering it. I see nobody covering it, and so I kept my fingers crossed. I'll be the first. I'm sure I wasn't the first, but the first that I've seen, right? And wow, I was so blown away by that place, and so was everybody else. So the video got an enormous amount of views. I think that kind of place there really is something that the Philippines needs more of, because it is very well run. almost like Disney level run, like you're going to Disneyland, where they have people to take care of everything and give people that rock star experience that is available in the Philippines. It's incredible. Like, you get them in other countries. They need more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the fact that you're out seeing all these places, for us to figure, okay, I'm going to go these 3 places because they've seen you go 10 places, and they go, I've got time to focus on these. I mean, like, again, that's what I'm saying. I really encourage you to watch this channel if you haven't seen it.
Thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Exactly. I'm rebuilding my channel. It's going well, though.
It is. I actually, like I said, I watch it more now than I used to.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, I have been busier now, I think, in the last year than I have been since I left Canada. And I left Canada 5 years ago. I lived in a couple other countries before here. And this last year has been the most go year in my life.
Well, what I remember from your channel before is you were usually just like focusing on restaurant reviews or hotel reviews. That's just kind of what I remember.
Right.
Maybe I'm totally wrong. And now, I mean, you're seeing more of what's going on everywhere, and the restaurants are a part of it, but it's not like the main...
No, I don't... I used to think that making a video... I think I was so concerned about other vloggers, and especially when you're trying to grow a channel, right, in the beginning, is you're trying to mimic other people. And I got away from that. I finally broke out of that and said, no, I'm just doing my own thing. And, other people would be maximizing the amount they can get out of every video. And so they would go to a restaurant and literally make a 30-minute video on a restaurant, like the whole video. And I got away from that because to me, it felt like work. And if it feels like work, that's not fun. And so now I will do an entire day, sometimes 2 days, and I'll compress it all into one video. So it's just like this. But you know what the great thing is even though my channel was quite big, and the other one, it was like 133,000 when we broke up, I get way more views, and my retention, the amount of time that people watch of my videos, have increased exponentially.
Because your content.
Which means the revenue increased exponentially. So I make far more money than I did on the bigger channel now when I had a smaller channel. And that's because, if you are actually putting action-packed things, like that people are always learning, things are changing, everything in the video, they're going to actually watch the whole video. They're not going to watch just a few minutes and go, okay, whatever.
I mean, if all you're interested in is coming to restaurants, then those kinds of videos will be great. But when you want to see more about the Philippines, the culture, the life,
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I got to a point where, I don't know if I hate to say it, I don't care, but it's almost like I just don't want it to be work anymore. And so if you're not going to like it, you're not going to like it. And that's how I go on things now. So, I might make a lot of people mad in the comments because I didn't linger on something else or whatever. But everything is going to be genuine. It's going to be my life.
You're not going to get bored watching it.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. Yeah.
What brought you to the Philippines?
Well, me... as I was a corporate executive back in Canada, and so I would spend all of my time stressed out, absolutely hating life. I couldn't wait to go on vacation. And I got it up to maybe, some years 4 or 5 times a year, I would go to Costa Rica or Mexico, South America, because it was a 3-hour flight. And it could never get more than a week anyway because of my job. And so I would go down, and I literally realized one day, especially it was during the pandemic, that all I do with my life is try to find an escape from, I hate winter, number one, as a Canadian living there for my whole life. And also just to break away from that stress. And it always took like 3 days to finally get that stress off and then actually enjoy your trip. And then it's time to go home. And so I kind of rethought my whole life in the beginning of the pandemic. And I just said, I got to get out of here. I got to go and live because I'm not living. All I do is work, just so I can get on a vacation. And why don't I just try to find a way to live somewhere warm, right? Somewhere tropical, something I want to do, and I'll just figure it out. And I did. That's exactly what I did. And now I would have went, if I wasn't married at the time to a half Filipina, I would have moved to, Mexico or Costa Rica, or my mother lives in Panama, somewhere in South America, because, distance-wise, it makes a lot more sense than flying 24 hours or whatever away. But because I was married to half Filipino, I was thinking of the visa, right? But the Philippines was closed. So we first moved to Cambodia, but then they went really crazy on the pandemic stuff, and they closed. So we got the heck out of there, which was a whole adventure on its own. 5 military checkpoints, and
Wow.
all kinds of stuff. Yeah, letters from embassies to get through to each checkpoint and beg them to let you through to get to the airport. And we went to Albania, which at the time was one of the freest countries in the world. Yes, you can go to Sweden where they had no restrictions and everything, but they weren't letting new people in. So yeah, their citizens were free, but if you wanted to go, there was only a handful of countries you could go in the world. And we got to Albania and life was as normal. We lived a normal life. The clubs, the bars, everything was open. The only thing they would do when the U.S. Embassy would put pressure on them is they put a curfew on the bars and the restaurants for like 11 p.m. during non-summer months, and then the summer months they allowed it to go to 2 a.m. And not on the people, though. You could wander and you could go for walks.
Wow.
The police would only go around and make sure all the businesses were shut down. But otherwise, there was no mask mandates, nothing. It was normal life. And it was cheaper than here in the Philippines when it came to, dining and having great food. The food was phenomenal there. But nobody spoke English. Nobody. You got to know Greek, maybe a little Italian or Albanian. And so I had to learn some Albanian to be there. But we spent 1 year there, and then as soon as the pandemic lifted here in this country, actually, as soon as they let us in, because it wasn't over when we got here, you had to wear masks on the beach in Boracay. And they had police that walked down the beach, 12 wide, and the cops would walk down the beach, and they would fine people 5,000 pesos at first. They dropped it to 500 later when there was so much backlash. And if your toe was in the water, you don't have to wear a mask. If you're one inch from the water, you have to wear a mask. And so they would come along and they would just fine people left, right, and center. So yeah, so that's when I first came. It came as soon as we could, essentially. In hindsight, I would have stayed where I was in Albania until all of that disappeared here and things got normal here. Because coming here to the tropics from Canada, essentially, Albania has temperate weather there. They do get cold, but like plus 3 degrees Celsius, so 36, 37 Fahrenheit. But that's like the coldest day of the year. But they don't really get this. It's not tropical, right? Yes, they have nice summers, but it's not like this. And so when I came here, I had to acclimatize to the humidity and to the heat. And now you have to wear masks. And in the beginning was the face shields and all that stuff. And you're not like everywhere you go. And I was sweating buckets. And this was the most suffocating thing when you were trying to adapt and cool off. That's what we do. We breathe to cool off. And oh my goodness, it was rough. I should have waited. But I will not regret coming to the Philippines because then I fell in love with this country. It's so much different than other nations.
Different than what you expected?
Yeah. Well, because I don't think until you come here, I don't think you can even imagine the openness and the friendliness of Filipinos. You just can't, because there is no other country like that where people are coming up and welcome to my country and welcome to the Philippines and smiling at you and hi Joe or whatever they want to call you. That's just not something that happens anywhere in the world. So yeah, like you can find pockets in other parts, but you'll never find it like the whole country is like that. And yeah, how do you not fall in love with that?
And stress level?
What stress, right? Nowadays, like what I think is stress, if I were to rewind and look at myself now, I'd be like, what are you stressing about? That's nothing, Really is to really start.
Well, I was thinking about doing a series on, dental. Like you can come in and get a set of dentures. You can do this and you can do that. You can get crowns for like a few hundred, a couple hundred, $160 you can get a crown.
Yeah, like when I looked into it, I thought it was very expensive. So I went to there to get my crowns replaced here. I still haven't done it because they wanted, between me and my ex, they wanted 400,000 pesos.
Not here.
Yeah, here.
No, I'm saying the places that I've been here.
Oh yeah, please, yeah. So when I went, right, and I went to a place that they were just a fortune, and everybody just said, "Well, go to Thailand, because it'd be significantly cheaper." And at the time, I had a place in Turkey and Israel, well, both about $2,000 to do the same thing, U.S. dollars, to do the exact same thing. But I was like, well, the flights though to Turkey and Israel.
I've heard about Turkey.
Yeah, Turkey. When I flew through there before, and you could see all the people with the nose jobs because they're all flying home and they've got the casts over their nose, right? We saw quite a few people there, and I believe it's about $4,000, including all of your hotels, all of your food. They for the surgery and everything, the prep time, everything, and they put you in this hotel. It's a gorgeous hotel and everything for the 3 days after, And then you get back on your flight and you leave. And that was a whole package. Everything was included in that, all the transportation and everything. So they have a huge industry that way. But yes, I've heard from other people on here, especially like braces and stuff like that, that there are, if you have the right people, usually I was told I probably got a white price, right? When I went in for the 400,000, a white price. Yeah. That no local is paying 400,000. You know, that was for both of us. Mine was about 200 and something thousand. But the crowns afterwards, I said, okay, well, I'm just going to get pricing from crowns. And I went to 3 to 4 dentists, email, so they didn't see me. My name is pretty obvious. And the lowest price I found is about 20,000 pesos per crown.
Here, the highest I've heard is 8.
Angeles City, I got to tell you,
it
is the most favorable place to get anything as a foreigner, because the whole history of this area is basically foreigner.
You know, I mean to cut you off. I hear so many people will contact me and they're all upset because they hear, you know, for example, like brownouts. Well, what about the brownouts? Well, I don't have them here. I had 3 last year. They're all scheduled. Joe, who I met, who's moved here, I said, how long was the last brownout last? He goes, 30 seconds. That's it, if that. But if you're in other parts of the Philippines, you got massive problems. Is it just because you hear there's massive problems, super expensive things?
Yeah.
It's not everywhere in the Philippines. It's certain areas. And
it really is.
You know, like Angeles City, at a top-notch place, you're talking 8,000 per crown.
Yeah, supply and demand, and there's a lot of supply here.
That's porcelain, white porcelain, blah, 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 you know.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to be going back up here to do that work because that is a problem. Like where I am in Iloilo, and I was in Manila, believe it or not. It was in Pasig. And, you know, that's where you have the Mall of Asia, but all the casinos and everything. A lot of people with a lot of money. And so the clinic was really fancy, really, really high-end and everything that I went into because I was worried about who I could trust sort of thing. And I think it was also priced that way. But then also, my skin color might have changed the price.
You know what? If you go here to the dental place here in Angeles City, it's a lot less expensive than you go a 5-minute ride to the mall. You can triple the price. Just in the mall, out of the mall.
Right. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, there is a lot of people that are coming here for, like you said, other healthcare needs that you can get done here. Because, like, my friend who had the quadruple bypass, all that whole thing, you know, from a heart attack and everything, it was total cost for the whole thing, 1.5 million pesos. So that is, what, $25,000. Now that's a major thing. Like basically if you're planning for, you know, you don't want to insure yourself and you just want to set aside money for an emergency, that's a pretty low number that you can set aside. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize, like, what would it cost in your country if you were not insured? Like, I'm a Canadian, so of course there would be no cost, but we pay for it in other ways. Yeah. And you know what? The funny thing is I've seen some new provincial hospitals recently, and they are looking as nice as, and sometimes better than, a lot of the private hospitals. Because the money is now being invested. This country has been seeing a lot of investment from other nations, like Korea, Japan, America, Canada. They are putting in billions of dollars into this country. So that is translating into better services for even the regulars, the locals. The
economic future here with all the, you know, a lot of education going on. You know, I've been in little towns where you had to take a boat. There's no road that goes to the town. You have to take a boat to get there. And their education up in the middle of nowhere is great.
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to ask you something that a lot of my guys are, they've heard it from me. And I listened to you talk about your budget there.
Yeah.
Tell us about your budget.
Well, see, the good thing about where I am...
Give or take rent.
Yeah. Well, the rent is $20,000 if you don't count all the renovations I'm doing. I pay $20,000 a month. And my electric's quite high still because I haven't spent the money yet on changing my air conditioner to a split aircon. I have a meter that I plug into the wall, and you plug whatever device in, and it'll tell you how many kilowatt hours it's using, that one device, right? And it's 99% of my electric budget.
Yeah.
And so that one thing is killing me. It's 8,000 pesos a month. I'm paying 6 to 8. Let's just say 6 to 8,000 a month just to run that thing at night for a bedroom, tiny little bedroom. But I live right on the ocean, right? I have sand right in my backyard coming right up, right? And
sometimes more than you want.
Yeah, sometimes more than you want. Sometimes it's taking the sand away, too. But I would never trade it for the world. I absolutely don't regret it at all. I love living that. So my bills are under 30,000 a month. That's water, electric, so like 28 actually. And we actually don't spend much on food because if you eat at home, and now that I've done some shopping and stuff like that with the restaurant, I really understand better where we can get good quality chicken meats and stuff like that. And I can get them for, say, like chicken wings, I get them for 190 pesos per kilo. That's a lot of chicken wings.
That's chicken breasts here.
Yeah, chicken breasts. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm paying $2.80 a kilo for chicken breast. Filet, sorry, not chicken breast. I can get chicken breast. You're right. I can get chicken breast for that price, but filleted, already ready to filleted. Yeah. So if you don't want to do the work and you want to buy the fillet, it's going to be like $2.80 a kilo. But you're not paying for the bone, so it kind of works out. But yeah, think about it though. Like if you're using that and some local vegetables, don't use the expensive vegetables, but use the local vegetables, you're making meals for next to nothing. We were literally working it out about 2,000 pesos, I think a week, that we were spending on food.
For 3 of you.
Yeah, but now we don't eat that much. Laura eats more, the little 4-year-old, but we will eat generally just dinner. Just our thing. We're so busy, you just keep moving, and then we just eat dinner. And sometimes it's just rice or noodles and maybe meat. I don't know. If you're not gorging or you're not just eating imported goods and stuff, it can be so economical here. Our phones are next to nothing. Mine's 299 pesos a month, and hers is a different company, so I think hers is like within 5 pesos of that as well. So we're $10 a month, with our unlimited type phones. I have great internet at home. That's 1,600 pesos a month, and it's fiber optic internet. So that's $30 a month. So all in all, I believe I don't even remember the number anymore, but I know that it's under $600 a month. And I live on the beach. I live right on the ocean.
Literally on the ocean.
Yeah, I can't complain. Like I really have a great life. But I had to be like you, and I had to see the place for what it's going to look like. And so really, to be honest, I had to spend 28,000 a month on my rent, depending if I only stay 2 years. It's going to be 28,000 pesos a month to have what I wanted. But I had to pay 20,000 a month to get there and then renovate it myself. And so we do have to keep that in mind and ignore a lot of the commenters because they're just talking nonsense,
Most of the commenters that have the worst comments aren't from here.
And probably never been here and probably never lived in mom's basement.
And why they have to come on like they're experts is, I have no idea.
Don't listen to your eyes and what you see in the camera. Listen to me, the commenter. Yeah.
I did a video about I went to the market, and the lady's sitting there with all these beautiful vegetables. How much is this? How much is this? You can see what it would be. I walked over to the chicken and the beef and the pork, and I said, how much is this, this, and this? How much is the fish? And fish was under 200 a kilo, and they'll take the bones out for you. They'll do all that stuff. I mean, the fish is still flopping around when you pick it out. Yeah. I mean, how fresh is that? We're in the Philippines. There's 1,000 occupied islands. There's 7 total. Yeah. And you're never too far from having fresh fish.
No.
So when you come here, I mean, people say, well, they can't live less than 3,000. I don't know what you'd spend it on. I don't know what I would spend it on.
Yeah. I have friends, don't get me wrong, that do spend $20,000 US a month, every single month here in the Philippines. Can you believe it? Now they have everything you can imagine, right? They have too much. They have more than they can ever imagine. And so, yeah, they live like kings and queens sort of thing, right? Like they have everything you want. And then I know other people that are living on a social security check that's already been reduced or something, and they're making under $600 US a month. And I got to tell you, you can live whatever budget you have, you can live in this country, no problem at all. I think that my friends that do have the 20,000, they struggle finding things to spend their money on.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just if you're not buying cars, building houses, buying furniture, color TVs, and all that kind of stuff, it's not that easy to spend that much money every month.
No. Now, don't get me wrong. Now that I've been up here in Clark, there are some restaurants. I was at one recently, and they wanted 16,000 pesos for a tomahawk steak. You can find a way to spend the money if you really wanted to, I guess. But on average, yeah.
Bottom line is, if you're in America, you're in Canada, you're in Great Britain, whatever your income is, wherever you come from, you're going to be able to have a much better lifestyle here.
Yeah.
Aside from having a better lifestyle here, you're going to have much less stress, just because it's hard to be stressed when everybody else is so laid back. It just grows on you. It's it's just the way it is.
Yeah. You could have the craziest traffic, people just like jamming themselves in. Nobody's honking their horn or anything. Nobody's getting angry. Nobody's going to pull out a gun out of their glove compartment. It's just not a thing here. If somebody's honking their horn, it's actually out of politeness. Excuse me, coming by. That's really all it is.
I'm here. In all the news and all the whatever, the one thing I've never heard about here is road rage.
Yeah, no.
Just haven't heard about it.
No.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it's not a thing.
Yeah. And also, for those who ask, no, nobody talks about China taking over here. Nobody's afraid of China taking over. I don't know why I get so many messages on it. I have a friend who is a battalion commander of the army, and he's like, we don't even have meetings about it. It's just not a thing. Yes, there is disputes with out in the ocean. They have disputes over fishing rights and all that kind of stuff. Yes, that's apparently been going on forever, and that's something that happens. But this isn't Taiwan or anything. There's no fear that we're about to be invaded or anything like that. So.
The islands they're arguing about are pretty far offshore, and it's a little atoll there. And the reason is because it has oil.
Oh, wow. Well, there's a good reason. And if you look, it's basically in between both countries, so that you can see how they're always going to be disputing this, because everybody gets so many miles away from their coast. But at some points, there isn't enough to give everybody the same, like the amount that you would normally get.
They'd overlap.
Yeah, they overlap.
And I think since it says the China Sea, China takes that literally, and that's where Filipinos disagree. Yeah.
But even in England, what was it, England and Iceland fighting over cod, and like this kind of stuff has been going on forever all over the world. Yeah. And it's so anyway, don't be afraid of that kind of thing. And here, it's just it's been absolutely wonderful since I moved here. Everybody's so friendly, and racism really isn't a thing here. If anything, you will be treated better here than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. And I've seen black guys, Mexican people, white people, and nobody gets treated any differently here.
Nobody stares at them. No. Everybody's the same. Yeah. Other than if you might be treated better if you have more money. But that's like everywhere in the world, though. Because I used to go, like, if I went to Tim Hortons with my baseball hat and a hoodie and a sweatpants, and they'd be like, yeah, what do you want? But then during my work, I wear suits, right? And I walk in there, and the same person would see me, and they'd be like, hello, sir. How can I help you today?
How can we help you today?
Right? That's all over the world, no matter where you go. It's, people do make those kind of assumptions immediately.
I just think it's less here.
Yeah, it's definitely less.
Yeah. I'd like to thank Mike for taking the time to allow me to do an interview.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely wonderful. I look forward to coming back, and this guy's amazing.
Watch his channel.